This is Ken Leone, Vice President of Marketing here at Stock Rover, and in this video, I'll showcase a powerful Stock Rover capability, Stock Rover Research Reports. Before delving into the analytics contained within Stock Rover Research Reports, let's talk a bit about what differentiates Stock Rover Research Reports. Typically, when we hear the term research reports, we think of an analyst-generated report that's published for consumption by investors. The problem with this methodology is that analyst-generated reports are by their nature static, while the market, as we all know, is dynamic. To clarify, a lot can happen in a day, a week, or a month since the report is published. Go beyond a month or two, and the efficacy of the report is dramatically reduced because invariably there are changes occurring in the industry, the sector, amongst peers, or within the company itself. Here's where Stock Rover's research reports fundamentally change the paradigm. Stock Rover research reports deliver with an on-demand comprehensive summary on any of the 7,000 plus stocks we track on the US and Canadian exchanges. When you request a research report from Stock Rover, the research and analytics are performed at the very moment you make that request. So you're always assured that the analytics in your research report are current as of the moment the report is created. As we'll see, proper research and analytics is just as much about what's happening within the industry and amongst peers as it is with the company itself, so there are a lot of moving parts. So let's get started. Accessing Stock Rover research reports is as simple as right-clicking on a ticker and selecting Research Report. The research report can be viewed in your browser and can also be produced in PDF format. In addition, you can launch the research report by going to the Insight panel, the Summary tab, and clicking on Research Report. Let's take a look at a research report from Microsoft that I just generated. Let's start with some key information, including PE, earnings per share, and sales growth. We also see the dividend-adjusted return of Microsoft versus its industry and the S&P 500 over the last year. We see an analyst consensus summary. Stock Rover also provides quantitative scoring in the areas of value, quality, growth, and sentiment. We also compute fair value and margin of safety. For more detail on both scoring and fair value, you want to check out the Stock Rover blog and video section, where there's quite a bit of useful information. Research reports also highlight any warnings or issues of concern for the stock as well. The warnings facility looks at 29 separate issues of potential concern and indicates which ones a given stock is afflicted with, if any, and to what degree. The warnings cover a variety of issues concerning financial and operational performance, price, technicals, and analyst estimates. The last page of the report contains more details on any warnings. In this case, we have one warning. We see a declining EPS growth. Here is another example of a research report with warnings. This report is showing some of the challenges that Boeing Aerospace is contending with. Notice the details that the warnings provide. Let's move to the next page. We see lots of helpful valuation metrics from Microsoft as well as its industry and the S&P 500. Note how the format allows us to quickly look at comparative information. Here we see how Microsoft, the industry, and the S&P 500 have grown in sales and earnings per share over the last year, the last 3 years, and the last 5 years. The peers analysis is looking at Microsoft versus its peers, analyzing a subset of the metrics and scores we looked at earlier. The research report provides a great deal of context for a ticker, especially when comparing it to its industry and the S&P 500. Stock Rover delivers meaningful data both in tabular and graphical format for comparing profitability, returns, dividend, and much more. Here we get more detail on earnings, risk, seasonality, and the 5-year performance versus the stock's sector and the S&P 500. As we can see, Stock Rover provides extensive information about a stock versus its closest peers. Not only are key financial metrics included, but there's also a rating. To learn more about ratings, you'll want to visit our blog and video section. A quick explanation of ratings. For each of the 6 categories, growth, valuation, efficiency, financial strength, dividend, and momentum, Stock Rover selects the set of metrics that are critical to determining the performance of the stock in that specific category. And then for each metric in the category, Stock Rover looks at the value, trajectory, and volatility of that metric and grades it against its peers to calculate a percentile score. Here is everything you want to know about Microsoft's dividend story. A chart shows the yearly progression of dividend payments along with the price performance of Microsoft superimposed in the background. The calendar shows all the declaration and payment dates for a dividend. Also included is upcoming dividend information, as well as information on the dividend rate the stock pays. Key dividend statistics are also displayed, including the payout ratio. The financial statement summary goes back 5 calendar years, showing a trailing 12 months in addition to the compound annual growth rate. We can also see the history of key valuation and profitability metrics from Microsoft. To summarize, Stock Rover's on-demand research reports make it very easy to perform a deep dive into any stock with a single click of the mouse. Everything you'd want to know about that stock is incorporated into the report. The information is displayed in a clear and well-structured way, making it effortless to perform comprehensive research on the company.